the military is now preparing for, basically, the president calls it a war.
Right.
Well,
It is a war, isn't it?
It is a war.
Absolutely.
John, would you call it a war?
Yeah, they're fighting against this disease right now.
And it's a dastardly devil. It is evil. This thing changes. This is why they said it was only old people who was going to get it. And now it's younger people are getting it.
Yes.
And I've listened to some of the great doctors, and they're saying that these things are going to change. And this is what happened in the great influenza. The only real big example I have is this 100 million deaths from the great influenza.
Right.
And it changed when it opened up. I'm going to go through it on another day, but I won't do it today. But as in the beginning, they said this was nothing. It was so little. It was so light that it wouldn't even be. I think I wrote it here. The great influenza, it was too mild to be influenza. Earlier, some physicians had insisted that the disease was not influenza because it was too mild. Not the slightest danger of an epidemic. Care was almost non-existent. Dead bodies began to stack up like cordwood. And influenza, they found out, was a crowd, or disease that spread in the crowds. And that's what our leaders are trying to do. We just got to stop it.
It seems like you're reading today's headline.
Yeah. It's really
Italy,
crazy.
this is according to the Express UK, Italian army called to remove corpses as city's crematorium struggles. They're having to run the crematoriums 24 hours a day in order to fulfill the bodies. But again, you talk about the war. This is Yahoo News. Germany is facing its biggest challenge since the Second World War in the fight against the coronavirus, says Angela Merkel. The president even referred to, says Trump linked the efforts to the measures taken during World War II, and he said it will require national sacrifice. I quote, "It's a war," he said. "I view it as in the sense of a wartime president.
Yes.
It's a very tough situation," end of quote. Again, it's like you're reading the headlines of today.
It's a state of emergency.
This book.
That our president has declared.
Yes. Had to.
The army's being brought in.
Yes.
Nationwide, worldwide state of emergency.
Yes.
All hospital beds in the U.S. will be filled with patients, and they're saying by May 8th that this is a few days ago, so who knows what it's going to be. But they're saying that every bed, they're trying to create more beds, they're trying to create more equipment to treat these people.
Did you see where they were talking about the ships coming in?
I was just going to say that if it wasn't a big deal, why would the Navy hospital ship will be docked in New York City, and he's rapidly even sending other ships to the West Coast as well? If it wasn't that serious, why would the president spend America's money and efforts to provide assistance from coast to coast?
That's right.
Again, you're seeing, it's like the coasts are being hit hard. And years ago, there was a prophet that said here, or maybe we even read it with David Wilkerson, I think it was. He said judgment will start in the coast.
That's what he said.
Again, we're seeing a prophetic event taking place. Shockingly, the church is quiet. The pastors, the leaders, the prophets that we've trusted. But I have to go back to the dead prophets, and like David Wilkerson saying judgment will start in the coast. He even talked about pandemics. John Paul Jackson talked about a pandemic of 2 waves coming. So we almost have to go back in history, just like you're doing right now with the great influenza. This is the greatest hour in the world's history where the world's leaders are gathering together in efforts to find a solution to save people's lives.